Hi guys. Today I want to talk about the role of scapegoat in a dysfunctional environment with relation to inner child healing. Um, it's a very relevant situation to inner child healing because a lot of the people who are on the path of healing the inner child that I worked with come from a background in which they have been assigned a scapegoat role by their dysfunctional environment. It could and mostly is the family, but it could also occur in environments that have nothing to do with the family, but a closely knit community of people based on some beliefs or a closely knit workplace environment. In any such environment, it's possible to see manifestations of the scapegoat role. And what I want to talk about specifically today is in relation to inner child healing. Because once you start your healing, you start identifying that you have been trapped in this role, and it really helps at this point to go over some tips with people that I work with and you guys who are all listening here on how to reject this scapegoat role to make sure that you are not victimized again by the set of people who have assigned this role to you. Basically, the true healing always begins once you walk away from the situation or from the dysfunctional environment. And this is also what I'm trying to get to here, that on your journey there are many different paths, and one of the paths that you're on is when you've chosen to walk away from a specific dysfunctional environment, but it keeps trying to pull you back, and you feel that this role is always sort of there, hanging out there in the background, and you wanna get rid of it. So let's move on to my tips. So the first really important thing to remember is that in such environments, you are very often given the burden of upholding a certain image of this institution, whether it's your family or whether it's a workplace. But you feel a lot of times that you're in a game of playing pretend, and you, even though despite being treated very, very unfairly and cruelly, have to keep the game of pretense going on. So in that way, it becomes your burden over the years, because all this responsibility of giving the external image of this dysfunctional environment has been put onto you. So you have to pretend that despite people treating you really, really bad, you have to convince others that everything is okay. And that is a huge burden to carry around in your life. So you have to remember that on your healing, this is one of the first things and one of the most important things that you have to let go of. That you no longer have to play pretend and carry the burden of this perfect environment, which is not perfect to begin with. It's sort of like living in a very hypocritical manner. And that is really, really draining. Related to this, of course, is that you are unconsciously and sometimes in most times involuntarily given the role of secret keeper. So something very insidious is going on in your environment. Let's say it's a toxic household, and the community around you believes that the people that have raised you and brought you up are really, really excellent, have been great, you present the perfect family image, but actually behind closed doors, something very insidious is happening. It's mostly abuse. And you have been given the role of keeping this secret. It's a lifetime commitment and a lifetime secret that you have to keep. And this adds to the burden. So you have to reject the responsibility of being the secret keeper. It doesn't mean that you have to voluntarily go and start, shouting out from the rooftops, but it also means that you have to sort of, relax this instinct that you have to protect others. So, if you're trapped in such an environment, you feel like you always have to be very vigilant about keeping the secret, but you no longer have to do that. And once you let go of this vigilance and slowly sort of tone it down, you'll realize that it becomes a lot easier because you're not feeling the burden of keeping the secret. You can finally let it go. You have to realize once you walked away. So, number 3. You have to permit yourself to not rise to the occasion of being a savior, a white knight for the environment, family, workplace that has initially been rejecting and abusive towards you. But sometimes it's so instinctive to us to go and sort of try to save everyone because that's what you've been trained to do. But you have to reject that. You have to permit yourself to walk away from that and not be the hero of the hour. Just let that all go. This is one of those situations where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So it's better to just get out of that, look after yourself, instead of feeling that you have to go and save everyone in this environment. You have to also reject the role or whatever it is that you're being given, whether it's the role of therapist, listening to and trying to solve people's problems, whether it's the role of priest, listening to the sins and absolving them. You have to realize this is not your burden, this is not your responsibility. And you have to permit yourself to walk away, to get away from this role. For example, you get a call from a family member, as always, and they have a problem and they expect you to solve it. You have the right to say, I don't want to do this. I'm busy right now. I'm in a meeting or I'm working and I'll call you back later. And you have the right to get yourself out of such situations where you're not forced to go in and solve the emotional problems of other highly capable adults, which they should be doing on their own, which is the most important in the overall act of healing yourself, is to prioritize your own life. This means you allow yourself to go on a path of self-discovery. You find out what you like to do, who you are. You allow yourself to heal. This means that you find creative outlets for your energy that you maybe perhaps never had time in the past because you're too busy solving everyone else's problems and taking the blame for everything that goes wrong. So creative outlets for your energy to create new positive energy and get rid of old, stuck negative energy. Making new and positive memories to replace the loop of negative, old, hurtful, painful memories of abandonment and loneliness. Make new positive memories. So really set the intention and then go ahead and create those memories. Spending time with your family of choice over family of origin. So this is really important because the family of choice is the family that you've chosen now on your path of healing, that are going to be hopefully a bunch of really positive, creative, helpful friends and acquaintances, over the family of choice that has previously blamed you and scapegoated you into situations and made you feel bad. So family of choice over a negative family of origin. Last one. All of the above, doing all of the above, what does this do? It gives you the chance to manifest your dreams into reality, because finally you have a new focus, and that focus is you and your happiness, and not the old roles that have been assigned to you by other people that you were never happy to begin with. And in this way, you begin to actually lead the life that you want to, and trust me, it's a beautiful one. So thanks for listening to my tips. Make sure to check out my other videos, and I'm going to keep on putting new stuff about inner child healing up here.